Hey guys, and welcome to my guide on being efficient at Queen Black Dragon. Hopefully by the end of watching this you'll have picked up one or two things which are going to help you on your QBD adventures and helping you to become really efficient without using any food and still getting those fast kills. The main thing just to remember about this is that it does take a lot of practice, so don't expect results straight away. You're going to need to practice quite a lot of the things in here, so just keep at it, don't get too down on yourself if you're not doing everything perfect. I mean, still to this day, even with the amount of kill count I have, I still make mistakes. They're not big mistakes, but I still do make mistakes, so you just need to keep that in mind all of the time. So a lot of people in my stream or in-game are always asking me how exactly am I always efficient in terms of using no food and just getting quick kills. That was probably the main two things that came up whilst I did my 12-hour QBD stream, where I just did 12 hours of QBD in a row. They were the main two things that popped up. So hopefully today I'm just going to let you in on a few things that should help you get to that stage where I am now at. But again, you just need to keep practicing because you probably won't get it right from the beginning. The main thing that's going to help you to achieve sort of fast kills with barely any food being used is just knowing exactly where to stand and the ability rotation that you should be using. So I'm going to be mainly going over that in today's guide. I will quickly, just before I do that though, I'll just go over the perks that you want to use that are going to help you out quite a lot, and just go over the sort of the minimal gear required and just what your inventory should look like before you go on each trip. Okay, so I'll go over the gear that you want to be using and your inventory setup. So as you can see, I've currently got equipped full Pernix, along with Amulet of Souls, which is very helpful to gain your HP back. I've got a max cape on. You can just use a 99 cape, that's going to do you good, or a kiln cape. Noxious longbow. You could use an RCB. It's very similar DPS. I'm not exactly sure on this, but I believe RCB is the exact same DPS as Nox Longbow if you are using Dragonbane bolts and arrows. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's very close. So you can use one of the two. The main thing that will be the difference is just having perks on them. I mean, you can have perks on RCB, but it's whether or not you want to be using good perks on an RCB, because you're probably going to use your Nox Longbow for other things. I've got an Asylum Surgeon Ring. One of the key things here, it's very good for saving your adrenaline. I've then got a Holy Wrench in my setup as well, just to save some of the prayer points. Now the auras, obviously I've got one equipped and I've got 4 other ones in my inventory. I've got Penance equipped, which is my favourite one. I love using Penance, helps you to keep those prayer points up nice and high. I've got Vampirism, again that's just helping you to keep your HP up very high. Supreme Invigorate, which is going to save you 10% extra adrenaline. You don't necessarily need this one or want to use it. That's mainly for speed kills, but again that's up to you. Then I've got the Supreme Sharpshooter if you want the extra accuracy. You tend to have 100% accuracy unless you get a mage phase though, assuming you're using Dragonbane, arrows or bolts, so you probably don't need to be using Sharpshooter. And then I have Supreme Reverence, which again is just going to help you keep those prayer points up nice and high. The rest of my inventory, I have an Enhanced Excalibur to start with. This is going to be your main thing to use to get your HP back up if you go very low by the end of a kill. If you're going low during the start of a kill, then you're probably doing something slightly wrong, so I'll go over sort of your HP and where you stand on your HP later on in the video. Ring of Vigor, just to save 10% adrenaline. I'll go over more of that later on as well. I'm going to be doing a few demo kills so you guys can see exactly what's going on. I've then got Searing Overloads in my inventory. I tend to take 2 6-dose potions which will last you just over an hour. So that's how long I usually do my trips for, just over an hour. Again, Searing Overload is just a super anti-fire and an overload added into one potion, so if you can't mix them together, then just have the two side by side, that's fine. I have a Dark Bow, which I'll go over later in my demo kills. The ammo, if you can, use a Tira Wing Quiver just for the prayer bonus. If not, it's 100% fine just to use the Dragonbane arrows or bolts in your inventory, or sorry, in your equipment slot. If you really wanted to, just to help you at the start, you could use Scrimshaw of Cruelty just to help you with a tiny bit more damage, but that's going to take some of your money away whilst you're doing these kills. So if you can, try not to use the Scrimshaw. I've then got in my inventory, I've got the Superior Elite Void, as you can see. If you don't have access to Pernix or Sirenic, then you want to be using Void. It is actually very good. I see a lot of people dissing Void at QBD just because you take a lot more damage, but hopefully if you're using my ability bar rotation later on, which I'm going to show you, it should still be very efficient. The accuracy is actually very good for when you get those mage phases, so it's actually not too bad all in all. You may end up having to use one or two rocktails or food, whatever, during the trip, but you should still see some very fast kills and some very efficient kills. And then lastly, just the summoning familiars. You can use either a Steel Titan or a Shadow Nihil. You don't necessarily need them, but it's going to help speed up your kills just by a couple of seconds. Okay, so just a quick look at the perks that you're going to want to be using. So precise 1 to 5, ideally 5 being the best. I should actually have precise 5, for some reason I don't. I'll probably change that within the next few days. Doesn't really make much of a difference. But having that extra minimum damage is just going to increase your DPS slightly. Aftershock 3 now, currently this is quite an expensive perk. But it is definitely going to help you during your kills, so if you're looking to have really efficient fast kills, definitely worth getting Aftershock 3. On my Pernix body, I then have Dragon Slayer, which is going to help you again deal a bit more damage. It does 7% additional damage versus dragons. Crackling 3, very similar to Aftershock 3, just going to help you with that extra DPS. Now it is a lot cheaper than Aftershock 3, so definitely worth getting Crackling 3 for that one. And then on my legs I have 3 perks that you don't really need. If you're doing Slayer kills of Black Dragons, then you want either Trophy Takers 4 or 5, as high as you can, which is going to, most of the time, give you a few extra kills. And also Genocider, which is going to help you deal a tiny bit more damage as you go through your Slayer task. And that's about it for the perks, nice and simple. The main 2 ones are just Crackling 3 and Aftershock 3. If you could get both of those, then you're in there. Okay, very quickly, just before we get into the kills, take a quick note of my ability bar. You also want to make sure you have availability to Surge, Corruption Shot if possible, not 100% needed, but it's going to help you quite a lot. Make sure you also have these 3 abilities on the end of my bar as well, Anticipation, Freedom, and one of the Adrenaline Stalling Shield abilities. Make sure that you have Death Swiftness as well. You have to have Death Swiftness for you to be efficient at QBD, as it's very key for your phases 1 and 2, and staying at full HP and doing as much damage as you can. So make sure you have Death Swiftness. I believe it's the World Wakes quest that you need to have completed, so ensure that you have that done. Now before we start the kill, you're going to equip your Dark Bow and your Ring of Vigor. You're also going to get yourself up to 100% adrenaline on your first kill of the trip, and that's one of the main things of being efficient for the rest of your trip, is always finishing your kills at 100% adrenaline. And you can do that just by stalling your abilities out, and if you're actually needing to build up to that 100% adrenaline, then you just attack some of the grot worms that spawn at the end. So I've gotten up to 100%. I'm going to enter the room. Now you Death Swiftness at the start. On your first kill, Death Swiftness doesn't always work, so it's going to go one of two ways. You're going to stand in this spot right here. You're going to keep Adrenaline stalling using the shield abilities. You're going to Death Swiftness about now. It's not going to let me rip. So I'm just going to use a normal ability. Death Swiftness, put my Nox bow back on, put my ring back on, then we continue the kill. So you're just going to use normal abilities in this phase. Phase 2, straight into your rapid fire. So phase 2 is the main key thing here of the speed part. Use your rapid fire, then just use normal abilities. Kill that. I always surge to here, use a defensive ability, come back in, bombardment, corruption shot, snapshot. That's your key 3 abilities for phase 3. Obviously, I'll go over this again. Then you just use, normal abilities for the rest of that phase. Phase 4, rapid fire. Then any normal abilities. Again, making sure that you have 100% adrenaline. Now, if you get a mage phase, which hopefully this happens in a couple of kills. If you get mage phase on phase 4, then you're going to want to use corruption shot and snapshot as well, just to help get that DPS done. So I'm on 100% adrenaline. I'm just going to make sure that I keep my adrenaline up by using freedom before I go into the room. As soon as I get into the room, again, just going to keep my adrenaline up. I'm going to surge, swap to my dark bow and my ring of vigor. Now you can see this time my death swiftness, exactly what's going to happen. So I wait until QBD tucks her head down, just wait a couple seconds there. Death swiftness, change my ring, do one attack with dark bow, and then I swap out and I carry on. So normal abilities, make sure you get a snipe in there if you can. Snipe is a very, very good ability here. So just normal abilities. You can, if you want, if you're doing really low DPS, use tight bindings. Rapid fire as much as you can. Just ignore the soul, you should be healing enough. Surge, defensive, back in, bombardment, corruption shot, snapshot. Perfect, mage phase. So if this happens on phase 3, you can use rapid fire. If it's about halfway on the HP bar and you have rapid fire available, then you're going to want to use that. Gets it down nice and quick. Well, I say quick, not the best. And then back in. Now, when this happens, when this spawns right at the start of phase 4, use corruption shot on it. It's going to always kill it. Not every single time, but pretty much always kill it. Okay, so I've used my rapid fire, my snapshot. Can use bombardment as well. May as well get that bit of extra DPS down. Finish off the kill. As you can see, I don't have 100% adrenaline. Just attack the grot worms that spawn. Get back up to 100%. And we start again. I'll just do 2 more kills for you guys. Just so I can keep explaining what I'm doing. So again, I'm just adrenaline stalling. Straight in, adrenaline stall again. So I would say the main thing here is making sure you start off in the right position. So if you look at the ground here, you've got like this little circle. Obviously I'm on it on NXT, but you want to try and find this space where I'm at. Death swiftness, equip my ring, do 1 auto attack and 1 ability with my dark bow. Then back onto my Nox bow and attack. I'll go over the food issue in a moment. So phase 2, again, rapid fire. As soon as rapid fire is finished, back into normal abilities. Gonna surge away. Use anticipate, take 10% less damage. Bombardment, corruption shot, snapshot. So every single kill I'm doing the exact same at the start of phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. And phase 4, sorry. So there we go. Again, I got mage phase, so I used rapid fire. Oh, look what happened, tortured soul. So corrupted shot. There you go. It's going to finish it off. So I've used snapshot. I sniped up, waiting for my rapid fire to come off cooldown. So obviously these aren't the fastest kills in the world. One, because I'm getting mage phase, but two, just because I'm just trying to show you guys everything of what's going on. So I'm not going at full speed. So I'll just do one more kill. So in terms of food and when to use your enhanced Excalibur, you only use your enhanced Excalibur at the start of the kill, right here. Okay, if you're on about 2 or 3k HP or below, you use it right now, and that's going to help you get up to full HP during the kill, because you don't tend to take very much damage on phases 1 and 2. It's more phases 3 and 4 that damage starts rolling in, so you want to make sure your HP bar is back up by that point. So again, it's just the exact same. Get onto phase 2, rapid fire. If I need to, I'll use a couple of extra abilities. Now this one I've dealt like no damage, so I'll just use tight bindings again. Pop back up. But as you can see, I just ignore all of this. If you're doing the DPS that I'm doing, you can just ignore all of this damage that's coming in, and you should be fine. Get up to phase 4, rapid fire. Blue phase, wonderful. So the main thing here of being efficient is just making sure that you always finish the kill on 100% adrenaline. Every single time, so that at the start of the next kill you can use death swiftness straight away. Okay, so obviously I've only done a few kills for you guys, but hopefully you've gotten the main idea. There was a lot for me to go over. I tried to cut it down as much as I could just to try and keep it as simple as possible. The main thing that was important during those kills was keeping your adrenaline at 100% at the end of each kill, so that you can then death swiftness at the start. I'll quickly go over, I'll just quickly talk about the ability bar rotation, just away from the kill itself, so that you guys just can take this information in and hopefully try and remember it. So at the start of the kill, you have your Ring of Vigor and your Dark Bow equipped. You death swiftness, attack QBD once with an auto attack, so just left click, use corruption shot if you have it, or just any other basic ability. Swap out your ring and then to your Nox bow or your RCB, whichever bow you're using. Then just on phase 1, normal basic abilities until you've killed it. When you get onto phase 2, it's then rapid fire for the first part. If you need to do a bit more damage, if you haven't quite killed it off, then just use a couple of other normal abilities. As I said, tight bindings is available to you, so you can still use that. When you get onto phase 3, I did say it quite a few times, I think I mentioned it on every single kill. You walk back in, you go bombardment, corruption shot, snapshot. If you don't have corruption shot, again just a basic ability, but that three order of abilities is very important. It's going to help you to do a lot of damage, so that is very important for phase 3. If again you get a mage phase and you haven't dealt very much damage, you can then use rapid fire to help you finish off that kill. I would suggest if QBD is above 50% HP, then you use rapid fire. If it's below that, then try and just use basic abilities, maybe tight bindings, just to help finish off that phase. When you get into phase 4, you then do rapid fire, snapshot if really needed, tight bindings if really needed. If not, just make sure you finish off the kill with 100% adrenaline. So they're sort of the main abilities there. Hopefully you guys have understood exactly where to stand at the start of the kill, and just exactly what abilities to use on each phase. I would say phase 1, basic abilities, phase 2, rapid fire, phase 3, you should know them by now, is bombardment, corruption shot, snapshot, in that order. Hopefully you've got that. Phase 4 main ability again is rapid fire, and then make sure you have that 100% adrenaline so that you can start off the next kill with the death swiftness. So obviously there is a lot to go over there. The main thing is just to keep practicing, keep going at killing QBD. The more you do it, the more efficient you're going to become, the less food you're going to use, and eventually you'll get to the stage where I'm now at, where I don't use any food at all, don't bring any food to trips with me. I just rely on the enhanced Excalibur if it's really required. If you guys do have any questions at all on QBD, anything that I've done, please feel free to comment below, and I will try and answer them as quickly as I can. If you guys want to, also, I do stream a lot of my RS content. I do occasionally QBD on stream. I actually have another QBD challenge coming up, 24 hours this time. So if you guys want to sort of ask me questions when I'm live, I'll make sure that my Twitch name is just in the description below. So make sure you guys check me out there if you have any more questions that you want to ask me straight away. So yeah, hopefully this guide has helped you. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. There's no feeling of being dumb when it comes to QBD and being efficient, because a lot of people don't know exactly what they're doing. So just go ahead and ask. Hopefully see you guys another time, either on my next videos. I'll probably be doing some other guides or in my stream. Peace out.